Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Thanksgiving week. How's everybody doing on this Monday evening? How we doing, folks? How's it going? Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. What is going on, folks? Make sure you all hit the like, hit that sub, share this channel out. How we doing? How we doing? So, Hal Steinbrenner finally makes an appearance. Everybody in the offseason was wondering, when is Hal Steinbrenner going to address the media? When is he going to talk to the fans? He hasn't made an appearance. He hasn't said anything since the Yankees have been eliminated. Everybody's been wondering where Hal has been. And finally, Hal makes an appearance via Zoom, right? So he addressed the media through Zoom, didn't make a physical appearance, but nevertheless, he made an appearance, right? So the last time Hal Steinbrenner made an appearance, it was during the change of the facial hair policy. So that was the last time Hal, made a live appearance. Since then, he's been pretty much just behind the scenes, doing whatever he's doing, right? And Hal spoke to the media. Of course, he wasn't going to give out too much information as far as what's gonna go down this offseason and whatnot. But no doubt that he got into some specifics. There was questions that were asked to Hal, and questions that I did expect. But again, he didn't get into much detail as far as what the Yankees offseason plans are going to be. And personally, it's not like any of us should expect him to get into these offseason plans. But again, there were specific questions that were asked to him as far as what the team's revenue, the payroll, how much money they're going to spend. Are they going to be under that $300 million threshold? A lot of this stuff was discussed. He answered those questions. He did answer those questions, and let's I'll just, of course, looking at the tweets. I was looking at the tweets on Twitter, of course, and the beat writers were putting out the tweets, and of course, there's so much negative reaction from the fans. It's just nothing but negativity, a lot of emotion, which I understand. I get it. We're all frustrated because the team hasn't won a championship in 16 years. And, there's the talk of Hal is cheap, but I don't know about that. Truthfully, if he was cheap, I don't think he would be operating at the payroll that he is operating at right now. Let's face it, the Yankees have been over that $300 million threshold for for a few years now, right? For a few years. So if they were cheap, they would be well below 300. Just to throw it out there. All right. I'll read off some of the tweets. I'll try to pull them up on the screen so y'all could read it too. That way I'm not just reading it to you. But let me say what's up to the chat real quick. And if I don't recognize some of you, I apologize. YouTube is doing this thing with the names. So if I don't recognize you, I do apologize, but I try to remember everybody. So first person in the building, I believe that's Jake. What's up, Jake? How's it going? Katie, what is going on? Sunil, what is up? Daniel Berry, what is up? Referees in the building, what's going on? John is in the building. Tiffany Johnson is in the building. Who else we got in the building? Yankee Kyle, what's up, man? What's going on, Yankee Kyle? Nosebleed, long time no see. Ken, what is going on, Ken? How are you? Theo, yo, what's up, Theo? How's it going? Who else is in the building? I think I saw some other folks. Brad, what's up, Brad? What's going on, dude? How's it going? Ryan is in the building. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. We got a few people in the building. Chua is in the building. Happy birthday to you. What's going on? I forget what your name was. I recognized the profile picture, but I forget what your name was, man. I'm sorry. Like I said, YouTube is putting looks like they're putting the usernames or the YouTube link names. They're doing something a little funky. But I remember you, man. What's going on? What's up? What's up? Yeah, no Susan Levine. She might make an appearance. She might make an appearance later. But we'll see. But one of the tweets I wanted to pull up. Where is it? Let's see here. So I was funny enough, I was actually on the phone talking with Ken just a little bit ago about some of the stuff that Hal has said. And actually, I'll pull up this one tweet right here. What's up, Cecilia? What's going on? And referee, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You are the man, sir. Thank you so much. He says, "Happy Thanksgiving, brother." Yeah, same to you, man. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I gotta give you so much. You're the man. One of the biggest supporters of the channel, man. Thank you so much. Cecilia's in the building. I saw Cecilia. Just trying to see who else is here. All right, cool. So I wanted to pull up this quote here or this tweet here from that Gary Phillips had put out. So one of the ones I want to share. So he said, Hal Steinbrenner said, let me make sure y'all could see it. Hold on. Hopefully y'all could see that. I got it up on the screen here. But the tweet says Hal Steinbrenner said it would be ideal, quote, ideal to lower the Yankees' payroll, but that doesn't mean that'll happen. The owner also called his club's profitability into question and discussed the Dodgers' spending, among other topics. So here's what he was getting at with the Yankees' payroll. So there's been, as you all know, there's been a lot of talk about how, Hal Steinbrenner wants to get under the $300 million payroll, right? He's apparently been talking about it for quite some time now, that realistically it's not sustainable, right? Apparently, this is what he said. Now, he has been under the $300 million threshold. He's been over it for a few years now. So the Yankees this season had a $319 million payroll. Okay, so clearly he's not able to stay under it. And he was asked whether or not he plans on trying to be under that $300 million payroll. He said he would like to be, but is it going to be the case? Is it going to be the case? Probably not. Right? I mean, he's saying it. It depends. Basically, saying it depends on how the team's needs, and he's aware of what the team is needing. He addressed some of that stuff, and he is definitely. He didn't say whether or not the team will be under it. He said he would like to be under the $300 million threshold, but if the team is going to be over $300 million, then guess what? Then so be it, right? He's not going to, he's saying what he's trying to say is that he's not, it's not going to stop the Yankees from doing business. It's still going to be business as usual. Even with the CBA expiring next season, he did say that if the team's payroll is going to be over 300 million, they're going to be over 300 million. All right, they're obviously every year. Obviously, he is going to say like he said today, that the team is going to try and make improvements wherever possible. All right. And try to get the right players to help the team be successful. So am I surprised about that? No. So, Trent Grisham coming back, obviously, it's still not going to stop their pursuit of, trying to improve the team. And they're still going to try and go out there and acquire players. There's no doubt about that. And Snell says under $300 million payroll, loose translation, no Kyle Tucker. Well, I don't think Kyle Tucker was – I never really thought Kyle Tucker was going to sign with the Yankees anyway. I mean, Brian Cashman did talk to his agent, Casey Close, just to get a feel, but I don't know that he's going to be – I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him. And he's attached to a qualifying offer. So that's a negative. No, none of that stuff was asked. There wasn't any questions on that. And shout out to Ken, who's been a member of the Strike Zone for 18 months. Says, happy Thanksgiving, and everyone at the Strike Zone fam. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, man. Can you believe that Thanksgiving is this week? But like I was saying, there's no doubt that, the Yankees are still going to – the Yankees are going to still operate business as usual. They're still going to try and improve their team. I think it's inevitable that the Yankees are going to be over $300 million. It's as simple as that. I think the Yankees will be they're going to be over $300 million. How far do they go? I don't know. Could they go 330, 340? Is that a possibility? I'm saying it could be a possibility. Are the Yankees going to? Is Hal Steinbrenner willing to go up that high? That's the question. And the payroll goes up every year, right? I mean, money goes up every year. So Jake says at this point they have to do something to get over this hurdle. It's like they just do enough to make it and then fall short every time. I mean, look. A lot of people thought that they weren't going to even make the postseason in 2025. Honestly, once Soto signed with the Mets, nobody expected him to make the postseason. So, the Yankees proved everybody wrong. But on paper, they had the team to succeed. It's not like they just barely crawled in there. Right, I mean to the postseason, but when they got to the postseason, they fell short and they performed terribly, unfortunately. But I don't think it's a case of like, okay, let's get the players we need to get just so we make it to the playoffs and that's it. I don't think that was the case. Oh, and shout out to my friend JB from the Back It Up Binge podcast. What's up, man? He says, with baseball spending out of control, I always root for bankruptcy. Never knew it would be the Yanks. But 2-for-1 there. Oh, man. Imagine if the Yanks go bankrupt. That would be crazy. Yeah. Baseball spending out of control. Well, it's funny. There could be a lockout after next season, right? So, I mean, I wanted to talk about that real quick because the CBA expires December 1st of next year, December 1st, 2026. The CBA expires, so there's going to be a conversation about a potential salary cap, and Hal did say that that would be reasonable enough that it would improve competitive balance significantly in the sport. Now, he did say that he would approve a salary cap if it is accompanied by a salary floor. So he isn't supportive of it, but there has to be a salary floor. But of course, there's going to be pushback on that from the players, no doubt. And what's Sunil saying? No one expected him to make the playoffs. Then refers to the Mets. If that's just no one had the audacity to compete. Well, he did bring up how the Mets had a high payroll too, and they had a higher payroll than the Yankees did, and the Yankees didn't even make, or the Mets didn't even make it to the postseason. Go figure. You know, but. And since we're talking about salary floor, salary cap, and team revenue, and Yankees spending money, so there was this quote put out by a tweet, not a quote, but a tweet put out by Chris Kirschner, which, by the way, I don't mind him. But he put out this quote right here, or this tweet right here. He said, Hal Steinbrenner seems to suggest that the Yankees are not making a profit. When a question was asked about the Yankees making more than $700 million in revenue, and if it's fair to assume he's making a profit, here's how he answered. And Hal said, no, it's not fair, actually. And then there was a follow-up question asked, you're taking a loss. Or if he's taking a loss. And Hal said, I don't want to get into it, but that's not a fair statement or an accurate statement. Everybody wants to talk about revenues. They need to talk about our expenses, including the $100 million expense to the city of New York that we have to pay every February 1st, including the COVID year. It all starts to add up in a hurry. Nobody spends more money. I don't believe on player development, scouting, performance science. These all start to add up. If you want to look at the revenues, you got to somehow try to figure out the expense side as well. You might be surprised, and that's something a lot of folks don't think about, is the expenses that the teams have. So, the Yankees have to pay. So that $100 million is the money that they pay to the city for the stadium, and they're going to continue paying that up until I think 2030 or 2031, when that debt is finally paid off. That's one. Two, you got to think. So if they made 700 million, right? 700 million, 100 million goes to the city, and then take 319 for the payroll. Right there, they're already at 281, and then they pay, I believe, what was it? I think it was like $140 in revenue sharing, and then which takes them down to about 141, and then the luxury tax. So yeah, that money disappears really quick, folks. That money disappears really quick. So it's not like they could just go out. It's not like they could just go out and spend millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, and I get that. I get. It's the players that you spend the money on, and I think they need to. They have the last couple of seasons. I feel like they've done a better job than that, as opposed to the years before. He's not going to sell the team. There's no way. It's a family business, man. There's no way they're selling that team. No way. They're definitely not selling the team. Celia's in the building. What's up? She says, honestly, not trying to be that fan. I really don't want to hear about expenses when you have the best player in MLB in your team who won't win. Yeah, I got you. Cecilia says, let's hope the Yankees prove everyone wrong again in 2026 by making it to the World Series versus your Dodgers. I just hope the Yankees do whatever it takes. And shout out to the Ace Avenue member for 13 months. Appreciate you, my guy. But yeah, I mean, the Yankees are in a deficit. There's no doubt about that. How much deficit they're in, I don't know. But I was wondering how much debt that they are they actually operating on right now. So it's not like they could just go out there and spend, and they're not the Dodgers, right? I mean, I understand fans want the Yankees to spend like the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are owned by a completely different group, and there's no ownership in baseball that come anywhere close to the money that the Dodgers own, right? They're owned by Guggenheim. Go look up Guggenheim. And shout out to Hayden. Says one thing I heard was Imai would rather beat the Dodgers than be with them. Yeah, he's on a mission. Perfect player for the Yankees. So Ken saying $136 million for the competitive balance tax, Cohen threshold tax, $100 million for the stadium costs, $319 million payroll, and Pac-Man still eating dots. So, yeah, if you take that $700 million, I'm just doing math in my phone here. So all in all, take the $700 million, 136 for the competitive balance tax, $68 million for the Cohen threshold, $100 million for the stadium cost, and then $319 for the payroll. And we haven't talked about Pac-Man eating the dots. That puts the team at $77 million when it's all said and done. So, like I said, that money disappears real quick. So, Hal Steinbrenner, and I know there's a lot of these comparisons between Hal Steinbrenner and George, but you can't compare the two. Honestly, Hal is operating under different parameters. So, it's different times, different parameters, different rules in this day and age. And Steinbrenner he's not the richest owner in New York. Nowhere near close. I mean, Cohen has more money than he does, but Cohen has other business ventures too. I mean, yes, Hal is involved in some other things, but Hal's main business is the New York Yankees. Celia saying I wasn't trying to read into this much, but it also seemed like Hal was content with the starters they have. He said they just need to make it through April. Well, he says he's happy with the starters, and once he did mention that once they're healthy, that it's gonna even be better. But he didn't say whether or not that he was just gonna stick with the starting pitchers that they have right now. He didn't make any statement like that. I think he's aware that there needs to be improvements to the team. He did bring up the bullpen. That was one area of improvement that he did talk about. He is aware that there does need to be improvements. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, that there needs to be improvements with the roster. So no, not on this show. I wasn't trying to mislead anybody. If I was, I do apologize. I wasn't trying to tell anybody, hey, Hal Steinbrenner's making an appearance on this show. I just said Hal Steinbrenner makes an appearance, as in he made an appearance and talked to the media. So I wasn't trying to mislead anybody. Promise you that. No, he didn't say anything about contact bats. He just said that, that he's going to try to make improvements to the team. He didn't say specifically what. Well, actually, I take that back. He did say he did make a mention about the bullpen, that the bullpen needs improvement, which I totally agree with, because they did non-tender some guys, so no doubt they need to go and get some guys that can improve in the bullpen. There's no doubt about that. And I'm just trying to see some other quotes that or other tweets that was put out by some of the beat writers. Yeah, but the bullpen wasn't an issue this postseason. It was their lack of contact hitters and starting pitching. Well, the bullpen was still a mixed bag, though. I mean, even during the regular season, it was a pretty mixed bag. And as far as the postseason goes, I mean, they got when they played against the Blue Jays. I mean, our starters didn't even last 3 innings. They had to rely on the bullpen, and really the bullpen couldn't hold it down. But then again, if you think about it, right? I mean, if your starting pitching can't get out, can't last more than 3 innings or 4 innings, yeah, the bullpen's gonna wear down. And unfortunately, like I said, the bullpen was a mixed bag this season. And I felt as though the bullpen definitely needed to be addressed. So the bullpen didn't exactly pan out the way, at least, in my opinion, I don't think it panned out the way I had hoped. And it didn't. He said rotation is good, but they need someone. So my guess will go after him. I hope they go after it. They should go after him. They should absolutely go after him. Ken says Leiter, Hamilton, Lasagna, Williams, and Weaver. The bullpen is already better. Are you saying without those guys, they're already better? And it's the last name, the last names that you just mentioned. Hamilton, Lasagna, Williams, and Weaver. I mean, I was hoping for some, a really solid, a solid 2025 from those guys, but just didn't happen. Leiter too. I was hoping for some good things from Leiter, man, but it just didn't pan out. What's up, Jonathan? Says hi, Anafia. I wasn't encouraged from what I can find from Hal. Well, let me ask you this question, Jonathan. What were you expecting from Hal? Like, what did you want him to say? Because in all honesty, I'm not really surprised about a lot of the things that he said and that he talked about. I mean, he wasn't going to get into a whole lot. You know what I mean? Not really. I mean, he talked about some things. But what were you not encouraged about, I guess? Well, I'll ask that question to you. And Ken is bringing up here 3 games versus the Jay starters, didn't make 3 innings, 18 outs is a lot to ask for any bullpen. Yeah. Hal said exactly what I thought he was going to say. Like, what do you expect? Right. I mean, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from Hal. I mean, it's not like he was going to It's not like he was going to get it. It's not like he was going to get into the details of how much money he plans on spending, or he's going to let Cashman spend, and who they're going to go after. Vibes. Good. First time seeing you. Welcome. How are you? He says, I don't think he would have faced as much scrutiny from those statements if he just fired the GM or manager. I don't know. I mean, maybe not. But I hate to point it out, but the GM or the manager ain't going nowhere. I mean, he gave his vote of confidence to Aaron Boone. Found it very little, so from what was reported, not much. Maybe I didn't see all of it. I didn't watch it. I'll be honest, like I didn't watch it, but I was just going off of some of the tweets that were put out by the beat writers. Sunil says, if we land Amaya for the starting pitcher rotation, does that maybe send either Hill or Warren to the pen or down to AAA, likely in Warren's case? I could potentially see one of those guys getting traded, Sunil. I'll tell you that much. Maybe one of those guys gets traded, the other one goes to the bullpen. Also, with Schlittler's emergence and Cole on the verge of return in mid-year 26, that could be interesting. No, I mean, Schlittler is going to be part of the starting rotation. I don't think there's a question. But one thing I will tell you about the starting rotation is that the Yankees are going to have to start thinking about the future, because after 2028, Cole's contract and Rodon's contract is going to be up. And those, I'm doubtful that the Yankees sign him back. Obviously, they're going to be older, right? But they're going to have to really start thinking about that rotation, because their contracts are going to be up here in the next couple of years. Celia says Hal seems to be living a little bit of delulu. The mental mistakes are from coaching as a whole. The first base coach is fired, then the third base coach should be fired as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly surprised that Rojas is still on the team. I thought, I thought when they got rid of Chapman, they would have gotten rid of Rojas as well. And we would have had we would have had a new third base coach as well. But Chapman was the guy that they got rid of, and they went with, I forgot the guy's name, but it was a first base coach that was an in-house. So, if they got rid of Rojas, I would have been okay with it. But the mental mistakes, that was another thing that Hal pointed out, was the mental mistakes that this team had made. And honestly, it was frustrating to watch this during the season with the amount of mental mistakes that this team was making. It was frustrating. It really was. And that's where I've said a lot of times during the season that this team keeps beating themselves. And as this team keeps beating themselves, they're gonna lose the games that they should win and never do. And we saw that too often. And they got to get out of that. They got to get out of their own heads, and they got to stop with the summer swoon. I mean, God only knows why the summer swoon happens, but I'm sure as an owner, I'm sure Hal is pretty annoyed by it. Sunil says Cole, Schlittler, and Hill give me a stronger vibe and feeling when compared to Warren in lieu of Hill or Schlittler. Yeah, I don't know what Luis Hill's future is going to be, honestly. I really don't know what his future is going to be. Dominguez, Finnegan, and John King would a trade for the bullpen. Are you talking about Sir Anthony? I think that's his first name, Sir Anthony Dominguez. I would like Finnegan. I do like Finnegan. I am a fan of Kyle Finnegan. That guy's good. John King. I like Jojo Romero. Celia says the other thing he said that they were pretty good infield-wise. I don't actually think they're good infield-wise at all. Well, Ryan McMahon defensively, I don't think we could deny he's a good third baseman. Defensively, he was a big upgrade to third base over what they had before. I'm glad the Yankees got him. I mean, I know his bat isn't great, but defensively he's good. Volpe, yeah, it was frustrating to watch. Jazz at second. I think Jazz belongs at second base. I think Jazz does really well at second. Yeah, he's made some boneheaded plays, and when they had Paul Goldschmidt at first, I mean that was a big upgrade too. So I mean the infield was pretty decent, I would say. In my opinion, again, I think the infield I think was better than where it was last year. I really believe that, but there needs to be improvement. The defense in the outfield, I think, is no question. I think the defense in the outfield was great. And just like Ken says, hit the like button, share the channel, and subscribe. Appreciate you, Ken. And if you guys are not subscribed to Ken's channel, the Yankees, The Ugly Truth, make sure you guys go check him out. He does a really good job on his channel. So he's got a lot of baseball knowledge and can talk about a lot. Can tell you a lot. I can tell you that right now. And he does not do talking points. He'll let that be known. Warren, if he's not traded, goes to the pen. That would be my guess. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, he's a good one. What's up, Beagle? He says if it's winter, Hal can go back into hibernation until the groundhogs come up. Yeah, I'm sure I'll make another appearance during the off season. Maybe after the winter meetings or so. Just trying to find some other tweets here. I mean, look, the breakdown is this, guys. Here's the deal. But before I get into that, Jake put something else out. The reality is they aren't really good infield-wise compared to Dodgers infield with their infield. They're fine defensively, but offense is important in the postseason. Offense is important, but what is going to win the World Series? What's going to help you succeed in the postseason, though, Jake? And it happens like clockwork every single year in the World Series. What's gonna win? Because yes, the offense is important, but I don't think that's gonna. It's a contributor, absolutely 100% a contributor. But at the end of the day, what's gonna win a World Series? What wins you the World Series? What helps you succeed in the postseason? Why would you think McMahon is a good defensive player? He was a finalist for this is what I'm saying. McMahon he's a great defensive player. The plays that he was making when he got traded to the Yankees, I mean, Peraza wasn't going to make those plays. That I understand, but what wins games in the postseason? What absolutely wins games in the postseason more so than the offense? Yeah, Hayden says pitching wins in the postseason, and Ken says pitching reigns supreme in the Thank you. Exactly. So it's pitching and good defense that's going to win you postseason games. That's what's going to win you game. That's what's going to help you succeed in the postseason. That's how the Dodgers did it. Dodgers didn't do it with the bats. In the World Series, if anything, the Blue Jays bats were actually better, even though there was a lot of missed opportunities with those guys. The Blue Jays bats were actually better in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's like I kept saying in the last live stream, and I'll say it again, the Dodgers pitching came through, and they started doing the little things. And the defense, you can't forget about the defense. Defense is going to win games too. And just remember that play that Andy Pajes made in center field, and where he basically knocked out Kike Hernandez to make that play. So defense and pitching, those are big to me. Those are going to be bigger contributors than the offense. Offense contributes absolutely, but defense and pitching reign supreme. 100% reigns supreme over the offense all day, every day when it comes to the postseason. Yamamoto was effectively, Yamamoto, man. I mean, talk about a guy that, came into the game after he pitched over 100 games or 100 pitches in the night before. Wild. Peraza, what's up, man? What's going on, Peraza? What's going on? What's up? But look, all in all, I'm just gonna say this, really. I wasn't expecting Hal to come out and say what the Yankees game plan is like, or as far as acquiring players. I mean, he did hint at the bullpen. He did hint in the outfield. He did hint at the fact that there needs to be less mental mistakes. So, and as far as money goes, I mean, yeah, they had $700 million in revenue, but $319 million in payroll, right? And then you got the competitive balance tax, the Cohen threshold, the payment for the stadium. All this stuff adds up. All these expenses add up. So the Yankees are operating on a deficit. They're still spending money on players. They're still trying to improve the team. They're still trying to. They still want to go out there and play and try to be successful. But they're still they're spending money and they're shelling out a lot of money, man. So I'm not surprised that Hal said these things, and it needed to be said too. But of course, fans are going to say, well, then sell the team, or you could spend the money. But like nobody's going to really pay attention to what he said as far as the money that gets shelled out. Jake says, yeah, you need to pitch well, but you have to be able to put runs on the board too. With the current Yankees lineup, there just isn't that clutch player. But I know pitching is more important. Yeah, pitching is definitely going to be more important. And I agree with you. Yeah, you need to put runs on the board. You absolutely need to put runs on the board. But like I mentioned, the Dodgers offense really in the World Series wasn't that great. They just got key hits at key times. They came through right at the right place, right time. But if you looked at Game 6 and 7, it was the pitching and the defense that saved them. Ultimately, that's what saved them. And as far as the runs that they got those runs at the right place, right time. Brad says fan base actually needs to hear what Hal and stop reading between the lines. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, don't, and that happens too often. It's going to be interesting. Rumors going to be 9-year deal. Where did you hear this, Peraza? I mean, the Yankees were willing to go 10 years with Yamamoto. I mean, he was an unknown, but he's made himself known. Jake says he said bullpen and outfielder. He didn't say anything about improving the infield. Players like Donovan Okamoto. I would love for the Yankees to go after Donovan. I know that's a name that's been talked about by a few Yankees fans. What's up, Billo? And Ken brings up here the Dodgers manager was the difference in the series. Roberts replaced the second baseman who tied the game at the top of the ninth and threw out IKF at home. Then he subbed Pages in the bottom of the ninth. Right. Well, Imanaga accepted a qualifying offer. I think they gave a qualifying offer, and I think he took it from the Cubs. House Presser, yeah, I'm not either. Pretty wild, right? Pretty wild. I love that attitude as well, man. I love that he said that. I love that he said that. I love it. But yeah, listen, look. Bottom line, Hal Steinbrenner knows that the team needs to improve. Hal Steinbrenner knows that they need to go out there and acquire players, whether it's through free agency or trades, right? He didn't say how much money that the Yankees are going to plan on spending. Obviously, he's not going to reveal that yet, right? And that's going to be a private conversation between him and Cashman. So the winter meetings are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. So certainly looking forward to that. Does he want to be under 300? Sure. I'm sure he's tired of shelling out so much money for the luxury tax, right? And revenue sharing. Shells out a bunch of money. I mean, he'd rather not, but it's just the reality right now. What's up, Haiti Yu? What's going on? So, but he also didn't say that he plans on being under 300. But if he's going to be over 300, then so be it. He's not. I mean, and he has been, like I said, he has been over 300 over the last few seasons. He'd rather not be, but if it's meant that he's going to be, then so be it. And he wants to try and make the team better. And he's certainly in support of a salary cap as long as it comes with a floor. So it's going to be really interesting how things go during the next CBA meetings. And I'm sure a lot of us, myself at least, I know there's probably going to be a lockout, and how long it's going to be, we'll see. Jake says, I hope I'm wrong, but I think he might choose the Giants over the Yankees. I heard the Giants are going to be all in on him. Giants probably will. I mean, there's going to be quite a few teams. I'll take Okamoto and Imai. Hal and Cash never actually say during these pressers, I'm optimistic we'll make some good moves. Yeah, they're not going to say what exactly they're going to do. I hope not, man. Heyman did predict an article a few weeks back, and Yankees getting Imai at 8 years, 190. Eight years at 190, so that puts him at like 20. So that's 23.75. Call it $23.8 million. I don't think that's necessarily unreasonable. It's a risk. I don't think it's unreasonable. Yeah, you're not paying him like ace level money, right? He could easily be like a number 3 in the rotation. Billow says, I don't think we need a salary cap, but we do need a minimum payroll. That could be another option. Because the players are not going to agree to a salary cap. It's just not going to happen. The players' union is just not going to happen. Heyman is a Boris guy, so if he says the Yankees will get him, then I'll believe, but don't know. We'll believe it till we see it, because Imai is represented by Boris. We all know that. Definitely a risk, but we're taking it, especially with the window to win closing. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta take those risks. Jake Boss says, I love to get one or two Japanese players. They have a little flair when playing. Yeah. And the Yankees certainly need to definitely get back into the Japanese market. The Dodgers right now, they're dominating. Right now it's like that Japanese market as of right now belongs to them. They're the attraction, especially when you have a guy like Ohtani on the team. It's going to draw attraction, but then again, you have those guys like Imai that's coming out and saying, "I want to beat the Dodgers." Hey, man, sign me up. But the Yankees certainly need to get back into the Japanese market. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Players Union won't ever allow a salary cap. They went to the Supreme Court in the 70s to get the right to be a free agent. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for sharing that information. Yeah, Players Union is not going to want it. There's no way. Frank Rivera, my friend, how are you? He says, I wouldn't believe Heyman if he told me this Thursday is Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, I take some of what he says with a grain of salt anyway. Pretty sure Okamoto is Boris as well. Murakami, I'm not sure. Imai is definitely a Boris guy. I also really have low expectations. I don't know what it is. I just don't have faith in the front office. I get it, man. I get it. But still remains to be seen what's going to happen. We need a Japanese player willing to come here and compete against other Japanese players. Some Japanese players do not want to go. This is true, because then they'll be left in the shadows. There won't be a salary cap no matter what Hal says. There'll be a strike. Yeah. I hope Okamoto or Murakami has the same attitude as Imai. I believe Okamoto will have the same. Oh, Murakami. Okay, thank you, Brad. My fault, folks. So Murakami's Boris, Okamoto isn't. I thought it was Okamoto, but either way, 2 of the 3 are represented by Scott Boris. So they're about to get a payday. Haiti Yu says, I don't even think we're signing Belly. I mean, listen, if it, again, I was talking with Ken about this a little bit ago, but if it gets to be, if his price gets to be outrageous, I think the Yankees should move on. I don't think Bellinger is deserving of $30 million a season. I would say at best he's probably more deserving of like $27.5 to $28 million a year. That's what I think. But the market may dictate otherwise. Billow says, don't sleep on Seattle. They will be looking to upgrade this offseason. I wouldn't mind having Polanco in our lineup. Well, Polanco, I heard Polanco's name being mentioned. I think there was I forgot what team. I think the Pirates were interested in Polanco. Although the Mariners should try to bring him back. I mean, they already brought back Naylor, but I'm watching out for the Mariners next season. Definitely watching out for those guys. I mean, the Dodgers already have a first and third baseman. If they get any offensive player, I think it'll probably be Okamoto, since he plays outfield too. Grisham makes Bellinger unlikely. I wouldn't go that far, Jonathan. They're still gonna try and go bring Bellinger back. I mean, after all, Cashman did say that he's been in touch with Boris, right? Not just about Bellinger, but the other guys that are represented by Boris. So, I don't think it's necessarily gonna stop them from trying to bring Bellinger back. I don't think so. Heartstar 639, what's up? like I said, if Bellinger's price gets outrageous, then yeah, I could totally see the Yankees moving on. 100%, I could see the Yankees moving on for sure. Probably just stick with who they have in-house potentially. And I really don't think they're going to get Kyle Tucker. They could surprise us, but I don't think a Kyle Tucker signing is happening, especially since he's attached to a QO, to a qualifying offer. Excuse me. But yeah, we'll see what goes down, folks. There's going to be that one team out there that overpays for Bellinger. He's going to get 5 to 6 years. I think it's risky to do that. It's giving me Aaron Hicks vibes. I mean, I don't think he doesn't give me Aaron Hicks vibes, but there are people out there that think that if he gets a contract like that, if the Yankees were to offer him something like that, like 5 to 6 years, then they could pretend that it's going to give them like DJ LeMahieu vibes. Which again, I understand because these guys, as athletes get older, obviously, they start to slow down a little bit, but that's reality. I believe Tucker's the only guy Yankees will go after who has a QO. I think the Yankees are going to do their due diligence. If they sign him, I'd be, like I said, I'd be surprised, but I think Bellinger's going to be their first priority, though. Willow says Grisham has no bearing on Belly. I expect Boris to have a big winter meeting. Bellinger 4 years at 130. Yeah, it's going to take more than 4, though, I think. 130 for 4, that puts him at 32.5. But he's going to want more years, more money. They're not. I mean, they're definitely not going to settle. Boris is not going to settle for that. Neither is Bellinger. Yeah, nothing major until the winter meetings. I don't think the Yankees will get Tucker, but I think they'll try. They might. I don't know. Like I said, if they do get Tucker, I'll be like, okay, I was completely wrong. But only time will tell, though. I mean, next couple of weeks, it's still going to be pretty quiet. Maybe, we might hear, a trade or two go down, just like, yesterday between the Mets and the Texas Rangers, where Nimmo was traded to the Rangers for Marcus Semien, which I didn't expect. Imai should be the top priority. Imai should be a priority. I mean, I think, no doubt. Year after year, we expect winter meetings to be big training and signing week. That's the way it used to be. It's a bore fest. It's a lot of waiting games. There's a lot. It's a big waiting game, no doubt. I mean, it's not like NFL free agency where as soon as the window opens, the window to sign players, it's like boom, one after the other. With baseball, it takes a little bit more time. Cruise Control says bullpen needs spots filled. Biggest need. Who do you think gets Suarez? Ranger Suarez? I don't know. Oh, and shout out to my guy Uncle Tats in the building from the Pinstripe Chronicles. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Pinstripe Chronicles podcast if you haven't yet. Pinstripe Chronicles, Yankees The Ugly Truth, the Ace Avenue, Jason 161, all these guys, man, they do a fantastic job. Why go after Tucker? You have Dominguez and Jones. The only way that makes sense is if we send Dominguez and Wells for pitching. And that's just it. Well, whether you sign Tucker back, or you bring Bellinger back, one of those guys. I mean, either Dominguez or Jones is getting traded. I mean, you can't. Yankees aren't going to be able to keep both of those guys. Yeah, he is good. Tatis is a World Series move if they ever pull that off. I mean, is Tatis even available? I know Michael K made that suggestion, but is he even available? Theo says, wouldn't shock me if Jones is used as trade bait. That's possible. You could say the same thing about Dominguez, Dominguez. No doubt. Brennan, first time seeing you. What's going on? Mets are likely to sign Bellinger. I mean, they're definitely going to make a run for him. I think they will. And so that's another reason why. Yeah, but I mean, Hal also said he likes Pete Alonso. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to sign Pete Alonso, right? And Uncle Tats is saying, if I've thought about it a lot today and after the show, and Tatis is the move to make if they make him available. I mean, he'd be a game changer for sure. Is Michael King a free agent? He is. Honestly, for me, I like him as a bullpen guy, personally. I know the Marlins had some dialogue with him. Hearing Hal today was expected and depressing. Yeah, but Tats, really, I mean, were you expecting something else, man? Let's be real. I wasn't expecting much, man. Listen to Hal as if he needs some flyer for food stamps. Wells reminds me so much of Sanchez. Wells has better defense than Sanchez, but the same damn thing, all or nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees should look elsewhere for catcher. I mean, I'd rather see Ben Rice instead of Wells, but that's just me. Right? I don't hate Austin Wells. I know. You would expect it. I understand. Snell, let's not even go there. You know what I'm talking about. Jake says, I don't understand what else people wanted Hal to say. He's going to say the same thing every year, which is that and along with, the revenue. I mean, I'm glad he talked about the revenue and the money and the expenses. I'm glad he talked about all that stuff. But look, bottom line, it doesn't matter what Hal Steinbrenner says. It doesn't matter what Brian Cashman says. What matters is what these guys end up doing during the offseason. That's what's going to matter at the end of the day. So, actions speak louder than words. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Actions absolutely speak louder than words. So I'm more interested in what these guys are going to do, not what they say, what they're going to do. And they have a lot of work to do. Robert says if we sign Belly, the outfield is Belly, Grisham, Judge. Pretty much. Oh yeah, he did talk about the Marlins series, and that was one of those mental mistakes right there. That series was atrocious. I don't want to even get into that. Uncle Tass is saying, bottom line, yes, there are expenses, but there are fans that don't want to hear it. Well, which is probably a good share of the fan base that doesn't want to hear it. They want to know that this team's going to be built to end the drought. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I want. That's what I want. But I mean, if we were in those guys' shoes, I wonder, what it would be like. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans, if they saw that the money that they were making and the money that was going out, they would forget it. Like they would have PTSD, man. They'd be traumatized. Didn't really say anything about it. Just said that he just said that it's not going to happen every year, but well, let's hope not. Judge right field, Grisham is probably center field, and then Bellinger probably wouldn't even be a thing. Then you would just have Grisham in center field, and then Tatis in left. Ooh, that sounds good. We know we don't have it out on Stanton, but I would institute that. But logically, where do you go? Shortstop. I don't know what the game plan is. And Sean NY, what's up? Yes, but the Yankees organization doesn't care about the fans. They care about making money and going to the playoffs. Well, I mean, that's every team's goal is to make money and go to the playoffs. I mean, to care about the fans. I mean, they care about the fans. They just don't care about the noise that the fans make, if you know what I mean. There's a difference. Because they want those butts in seat. They want their those fans in the seats. I don't know, man. Still remains to be seen. Yeah, Frank, and he says agree 100%. We can speculate all we want. What matters is what is actually done. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Stanton's not going nowhere. Yeah, if they get Tatis, they're not signing Bellinger. Bellinger's gone. I doubt the New York Yankees are out on Bellinger. I think they'd want to balance the lineup with right-handed. I'm not saying that they're out. I don't think that they're out. They're still in on him, regardless of Grisham coming back. It don't matter. They're still in on him. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. Yeah, for real, and especially knowing that the that the Marlins are going to start kicking in $10 million of his money starting this season. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but they had a lot of lefty bats this season. They did have a lot of lefty bats. Go right ahead. I ain't contributing to it. Stan is never waiving. He's not going to. No, he's not going to. He's definitely not going to waive his no-trade clause. You kidding me? No way he's not. There's no way he's going to do that. He's not going to do that at all. Oh, okay. So you're about to go watch the hockey game. Cool. Well, I got to wrap it up anyway because I do have to get going. But we'll talk. We'll talk some more. We'll talk some more. I'll try to go live if something comes out, if there's something interesting, some news to talk about. But it's probably not going to be not going to be a whole lot of action up until the winter meetings. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Schwarber and Alonso are going to cost more than Stanton. Besides, Stanton is going to hit 500 as a Yankee. Boom, there you go. Sean NY says, I think the Yankees are going to have a mild winter. I don't think they're going to do that much. I mean, like I said, man, we'll see what happens. You know, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of holes to fill. So, we'll see what goes down. But anyway, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up here, though. But I do appreciate everybody jumping on, hanging out on this Monday night, and just wanted to kind of talk about some of the stuff that Hal Steinbrenner said. And I did not. And once again, I didn't want to mention this real quick. I wasn't trying to mislead anybody with the title. I didn't think it was misleading. I don't want to do that to anybody. I just said Hal Steinbrenner makes an appearance. Trust me, if I said he was going to be on the show, I would have said, interviewing special guest Hal Steinbrenner or something along those lines. Like, that's how I would have done it if he was going to be on the show. But yeah, I don't have that kind of connection. Nope, not this guy. Yeah, enjoy your night too, Uncle Tats. Great to see you, bro. Always a pleasure, man. Well, we got to talk soon. That's called clickbait. The strike zone. If they don't know the difference, then tough on them. Yeah, and I don't do clickbait. But anyway, folks, everybody have a great night. Thank you all so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for all the love. Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that sub. If you haven't subbed yet, if you're watching for the first time, hit that sub. Keep sharing this channel out. See you all next time. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Enjoy your time with your families and your loved ones, your friends. And of course, if anything comes out, I'll either go live, put out a YouTube short, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk, but winter meetings, you better believe I'm going live. And Bill O says it wasn't clickbait, it's a fact. Yeah, well, it is a fact. He did make an appearance. So, but anyway, have a great night, everybody. See y'all later. And as always, let's go Yankees. And I'll see you all next time. Have a great night.